Hi, FlossTube Stitchers. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling cold and damp all week. And tonight there is a 70 to 78% chance of the S word coming. Although I don't think it's going to stick because I think it's still too warm for that. But, just enough to mess up morning traffic and your hairstyle for the day and an indication of the colder and nastier weather to come. So let's just not say the S word out loud. My vintage item tonight is not actually a finished product, but kind of goes along with the tuck pillows I showed last week. I had this in my stash. I don't have any more of these. As you can see, the original price was $15.50 back in the day. I don't know when I had this, when I had these in stock, or how long it's been in my stash. I don't even remember what was supposed to go in it, if there was a chart. It could have been something that I didn't think I would stitch, but I still liked the pillow, or it could have been just the last one left and there wasn't a single other tuck pillow in the shop, so I just took it home. I'm not sure. But I had been thinking about putting a Thanksgiving design in it. And I pulled a few things that were in my stash. I looked at some things in the shop. I ran through my possibilities for freebie February to see if there was a turkey there, that I could use. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized these aren't fall colors. This is burgundy and hunter green running through here. So I thought, well, what if I did a turkey in green on like a beige fabric? And somehow that just didn't sit right with me. But I couldn't use rust because when I put this pillow really close to the thread wall when I was checking out colors, nope, I put all these different colors next to it and it only went with kind of a burgundy, but not too bright of a red, not too pink of a burgundy. It was really hard, but I settled on two colors that I thought would go with it. Kind of weird to pick the colors first before you know what you're stitching. But I decided that it looked like Christmas to me. So I went through some little charts that we had to see if I could find something Christmassy. And I found Joy to the World by Primrose Cottage. I always liked this one. I liked the use of the poinsettia in place of the O. And I think I probably just hadn't pulled this for myself because these colors are a little bright for me. I usually do something a little bit duller or darker. But the fact that there was only two colors called for made me think that it would work with this perfectly. So I got a little bit, well, actually I got probably more than half done. And I'll just show you what it looks like on top. Maybe I can do this so you can see how nice it looks. And the fabric is 28 Cashel in Boardwalk from Color and Cotton. And I had this really long 6-inch wide scrap that is too weird of a shape to put in the remnant bags. I hate to put anything less than 7 inches because it just seems like I'm teasing people like, oh, you can only do a covered button with this. So I just had it put aside for my own use. And the color Boardwalk was perfect for the beige in the fabric. And the colors I chose were Classic Colorworks Manor Red and Weeks Dye Works Holly. Manor Red is one of my favorite reds, and Holly is a really good dark green that I've used for several other Christmas projects. So I'm happy about that. I'll probably finish this up tonight. There's a little more space than I thought there was going to be. Let me see if I can. I think there's going to be about a 1/2 inch showing, but that's better than having it be too close. So I think I'm okay with that. And I might find some ribbon and do some kind of a big bow with maybe some kind of decoration in the middle of it just to give it a little more oomph since it's kind of simple. But the colors are good for me. And it's a chart that's still available, and I'm sorry that the pillows aren't, but I guess I just wanted to show you my process of choosing things. I liked the pillow. I could have brought it back to sell it, but I still really liked it, so I was determined to find something that would go in it. Alrighty, then I'll just move on to my other whip that I've been working on. This was a start during Freebie February in 2021. Why did I not go back to it? Well, I think I did go back to it at least one other night because I got more done than I had the first time I showed it. But then I kind of put it away, and you know me, I forget about things. So I was determined to work on some of my Thanksgiving whips. Since I asked you about your Christmas whips last time, I thought, hey girl, you better look at your Thanksgiving whips because that's coming up quickly, and they're probably not going to be finished for this holiday, but the idea is to work on them during the month where you're thinking about it and then get it finished, fully finished for next year. So this is by Twin Peak Primitives. It's just called Thanksgiving Freebie. It's on their website. And I will show you. I don't have my board behind it, but let's see, maybe I'll just put the white paper. I'm pretty sure this is 35 count creek bed brown, or one of those earlier coffee dye colors from R&R Reproductions, from when they used to dye over Northern Cross. So they don't use that base fabric anymore. They use Weigart now, and they completely changed their color names because they probably wouldn't have looked the same anyway. So they just came up with a new line of color names. So this might be hard to find, but it's a nice medium beige. I know there's colors from other companies that would work if you like this color. I like it because it's warm, it's medium, not too light, not too dark, not too yellow, not too green. And the turkeys are done in dark chocolate. The pumpkin is done in, well, the color sheet is underneath. I had the color sheet out. I forgot I was going to need to refer to that. The pumpkin is bittersweet from the Gentle Art, and the lines inside the pumpkin are supposed to be brandy, but I did, oh, now I can't think of what color I used, but, oh wait, it's right here. I used something it's over dyed, but oh no, I did use brandy, but not a current dye lot. It was an older dye lot, and it was more of a beige than a gold color. And so I think I had like 4 different dye lots of brandy. So I chose that one, but I was thinking of just using a solid color DMC for the lines because I think it would be too messy to have another over dye going through. I think the lines would just get, I don't know, overlooked or not really show the definition. And the reason I thought to do that is because of my issue with the grapes at the bottom. So the grapes are supposed to be done with hyacinth and royal purple. The royal purple I didn't care for. It was too bright for me. And so while I was searching for another color, I decided I would just do the hyacinth. And it's a two-tone grape situation with 2 of the grapes being completely the lighter color, and then the other ones, you know, are kind of shaded. So I did that first. Okay, big mistake, because I forgot that I have issues with free charts or anybody's charts that are not stitched. I know this is a free chart. I don't expect them to stitch every free chart. I understand why they don't, but why use every single color that's over dyed when you don't know how it's going to blend into the other colors? So I don't like the way that one bunch of grapes looks. I think it's too messy. And so I think I'm going to take out all of the light color and use a solid color DMC or Anchor, and then just use the darker color. I did pick a darker color. I think it's I think it might be, oops, let me go check that. Is it mulberry? No, it's eggplant from Weeks Dye Works. I think I'm going to stick with the eggplant, but because there's so much of the lighter purple, I think I'm just going to change it to a solid color. So I know better than this. I don't know why I did that. I should have stitched just one grape, to see what it was going to look like. But you can see how much the hyacinth varies, because the other two are all hyacinth and no other color. And I should have known that it was going to be, I don't know, too messy looking. So then when I went to do the leaves, they are supposed to be done in bittersweet with these accents of pumpkin patch. That's also a gentle art. And I thought, nope, I'm not doing that, because you're not even going to be able to tell which is which. And I just didn't think it was going to look right. So I did them all in just bittersweet, and I'm very happy with the way they look. So maybe one long evening, or, well, no, it's going to take 2 evenings, because I forgot I have to remove the hyacinth, but maybe 2 more nights and it'll be done. And I'm really happy with it. I don't think we have anything ready made, and it's too late to order frames, because Bonnie was going to try to order from a couple different companies this coming week. And I didn't even have her measure it, because it wasn't done enough to show her. But anyway, I really like this. I think the turkeys are so fancy. They just look like they're posing. And anyway, I like it. I like the font of the word Thanksgiving. Oh, I also changed the vine at the bottom to, I forgot again. It was supposed to be done in cranberry. Why would the vine be in cranberry? The only thing I can think of is that the program they were using had the symbol for cranberry and made it look too dark or too green or something. But I can't imagine a world in which a branch is cranberry colored. So I am using, oh goodness, and there's 2 projects in here, so now I can't tell which is which. I'm using a really green dried thyme, not the brown, beige, dull, whatever, out of my 50 shades of dried thyme. I picked a nice, I gotta use the dried thyme. I have so much of it, and it never comes in the same, so you have to use it in spurts. So I thought, well, this doesn't take very much, so I can just take one strand of the color that I like. So it's a really nice green that I thought looked good for the vine. Okay, and if anybody wants my changes, probably when I show it here finished, or when I show it on Facebook or Instagram, I'll give the list of colors there so that you know what I changed. But then again, your dye lots might be different than mine, or you might completely change the colors to things that you have in your stash anyway, so it won't matter. But I do like to give you the changes when I make them. Okay, now I have a note to tell you why I might not put the link to that freebie in the show notes. So a while back, I got a notification from YouTube that said one of my videos had been removed from YouTube for containing dangerous content. What? What the heck? What I had no clue what was happening. And I thought, well, this is just like Google shutting down my email a couple times because I did something against their standards. And when it all boils down to the fact that they just want me to pay for more storage, because really, I didn't do anything against their standards, and they never gave me a reason. And that's kind of the only conclusion I could come to. Anyway, the video was one from a number of years ago from a freebie February. So one of the weeks in February for that year. And the designer in question, and I'm not going to name it because it's not her fault at all, and I don't want any negative attention to her her site or her work as a designer or anything. But anyway, she had changed from a .net to a .com along the way. You know, people do that. They change servers, they change web providers, they you know, they go to Etsy, they go elsewhere. So anyway, she had changed. And I thought, well, wait a minute, she still has a website, but I looked, and when I followed my own link, I can't remember what it said, but I didn't go any farther. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is not her anymore. And they must have looked farther to see that it either led to a scam or something that nobody needs to see. So I'm a little afraid to post links anymore. Now, I know that I somewhere I have written down what video it is, and I could tell because they're all numbered, and I know when I show different things from her. I've included her several times on my freebie February, so I could go put the video back up without any links in the show notes, but would that just confuse people? Is anybody even going to remember? You know, whatever. So it's probably, if it were just from a couple months ago, I might, but it was from a couple years ago, so I probably won't bother. But it reminded me of another time where a viewer had privately messaged me, I think, or maybe she put a comment on my video, and she said, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I don't know if you know this, but when you put a hashtag in front of the number of your video, it's highlighted. And if you click on that, it goes places that have nothing to do with your business. And I think I tried one of them, and I'm like, what the heck? Where is this sending me? So I don't know how many, it was a couple years ago, I stopped putting a hashtag. And it's just, there's such, you know, simple little things, but they're not anything that I would think of because I don't have bad intentions and I don't think like a criminal or a scammer. So I would never have thought that putting a hashtag in front of the number of my video, I never noticed that it was highlighting just that number, and then that was leading other places. So that's why I stopped doing that. So anyway, oh my goodness, if you only knew all the stuff that happened behind the scenes, that's just so crazy. Okay, so those were the two little things I wanted to tell you about my dangerous content. Okay, new models on display, and they're all Christmas. I had a variety of different things I could choose from, and I just decided to show you three things from the same local customer, Phyllis W., who I've mentioned before. And she recently had this one framed and loaned it to me, and I know she's gonna, you know, take it back in a few weeks, so I thought I better show it because she'll really want to take that home. And then there's two other ones that I may have shown in a previous Christmas video because she sent them as her personal photos to be included, or I might have shown them on social media. So you may have seen them before, but they're now officially in the shop as models on loan. Okay, so these are Phyllis's. The first is Nativity Tiny Town plus the frills on either end from Heart and Hand. And I love the frame. It's so pretty. I think I might have gotten a chance to vote on the final frame choice when she was here with Bonnie. We really like her placement of the kings and the shepherds. And I know various places on social media, you can see people doing different things in different placements. And I saw somebody had put the buildings on the outside and the shepherds and the kings, you know, on the inside of the houses. But I actually, I think I like the people separated rather than all being together. And as Phyllis said, this kind of shows the story with the shepherds and the kings coming from a distance. And so I just like the way the whole story is told. We've also seen where people have put the shepherds and the kings slightly lower. And my framer had suggested to me, well, what happened was we tried to put a rectangular frame around, which we tried to recreate it without having the stitching. And she said, I think there's too much wasted space in the middle. If you put these lower, then what are you going to do in this space? Maybe you could put a Bible verse or something. But she had suggested that if I wanted to do it that way, that I should try to do a gentle curve and put the whole thing on like a gentle hill, and then maybe put more stars or put the stars higher. But would I ever really rechart that? I probably would keep procrastinating and then I would never stitch it. So I just really like this. I would totally do the same thing on the same fabric in the same frame. I just love it. And Phyllis does too. All right, then the next one is Silent Night by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I love hers. I love the frame and the fillet. One of these days, maybe when she brings it back after Christmas, I'll put hers and mine together and show you. Hers, I think, is a little bit smaller because she generally stitches on 36. I think, pretty sure mine's on 32. And she added beads for the snowflakes. And I truly believe that she was inspired by Bonnie, who adds a lot of beads to her pieces. And it just looks so nice. It's so pretty. This is the kind of S that I like on the stitching, not on the ground. Or maybe on the ground, but when I'm inside. All right, and then the next one is Born in a Manger by Little House Needleworks. I'm pretty sure this was in a previous video. The church might not have been. That might also be a new loan from her. But this is so pretty. And this she did before she was giving me the fabric information, but she said she could go back and look and see what it was. It kind of looks like Dirty Belfast maybe. So anyway, that's Born in a Manger. Okay, then we got some new charts. I only got one auto this week. There's another one I'm expecting soon. And I did not get the Atomic Ranch Holiday Collection. So hopefully I'll be able to show that too next week. But we did get 3 new charts from Paulette at Plum Street. She apologized for the lateness of these because, you know, autumn is, well, it's not almost over, but when the weather gets cold, it kind of feels like autumn's over. But that's okay. You get a nice start for next year, right? The first one is Autumn Moon. It's 16. Sorry, I should have taken these out of the plastic bag, but I forgot. It's one of those with tons of stitching, but isn't that pretty? I love the flowers at the bottom, and I love all the colors of the leaves. The rabbit jumping over the moon. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do some of those someday, but they're just so much stitching. Then there's Mini Mummy Moon. That's 10. And you know what? I forgot to tell you what the fabric was. This is 36 Snickleway from Seraphim. I've never had that color before, but I think slate or charcoal, I think there's some other colors that would work if you wanted to get a start on it. Autumn Moon was done on 36 Hog Bristle from Fox and Rabbit. And then the last one is so clever. Charcuterie board. And it's 12. I just love this so much. It is so clever because those boards are so popular right now. I just think she arranged things so that it just totally looks like a little appetizer plate or something. And she did hers on 36 Affogato from Fiber on a Whim. And I had this, I had that color for a while. And when I first ordered it, it was advertised as, you know, one of their coffee colors, and it came in green. And I'm like, nope, I'm not ordering this again because I want it to be beige. Well, I could just shoot myself now because it's perfect for this because it's green and not a coffee color. But I found a couple others that might work. I'm not going to start it before the end of the year, but I did think I would look at colors so that I would be ready for the beginning of the year, you know, or maybe it would be a 31st of the month start. So I wanted to look and see what I had in person. I have 36 count wheat from Fiber on a Whim, and it's you know, it's a nice, weird Halloween-y greenish color. I don't know if it's too light for the white, so I thought maybe I would just stitch some white near the selvage, near, you know, like near a corner, so that I could take it out and see if the white shows up enough, because there's enough white that I want to make sure it shows up. The next color I had is Hazelwood from Fiber on a Whim. This would be safer, and it's still, you know, a weird greenish color. So that would be a safer choice, probably. It's a little bit darker. And then I also have, that was a 36 as well. I also have 32 Sage Jovelin. This would be very safe, and I wouldn't have to worry about any weird splotches showing up in the middle of it, so that all the different colors in the design would show up. But it's 32. So I would have to decide, will I struggle with 2 strands? Will 1 strand be enough? So again, I might practice near the selvage and see what comes of that. And if I can't make a decision, I'll just wait until the next time I get some new fabric in stock. But anyway, I really want to do that for next year. Okay, then the giveaway for today is something that is compliments of a local customer, Ellen M. And she had come in one day and said, Shelly, I bought 2 of these and I just want to give it back. And I'm like, no, let me trade you for what you're buying today. So she had a chart and a piece of fabric, and she goes, no, it's my own fault. I should have kept better track. And I'm like, no, please. And she goes, no, I want you to take it. And I go, okay, well, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to use it as a giveaway on my FlossTube channel. And so we agreed that was a good thing to do. So she had 2 copies of We Santa 2017 from Heart and Hand. It's done on 30 count Aztec red. It looks much brighter in the picture than it is in real life. You know, most things are lighter or brighter. So this is what the fabric really looks like. And I don't care if you use it for this or use the red for something different and do your own thing with it. Although I didn't think of a question. Well, just tell me if you've stitched any of her Santas. Cecilia's been doing Santas for, I don't know, 25 years or something. There's a lot of Santas. So let me know if you've stitched any of her Santas. And then the winner of the Christmas whip charms from last week's video is Kathy Coates with 2 C's. Kathy with a C, Coates with a C. And I couldn't find her in my database, so I need her to email me her mailing address, and I'll get these out to her. Okay, thanks for watching. We will see you next week. Try to stay dry. Bye-bye.